Hello and welcome back to another episode of Sexology Podcast. I am so excited and honored to welcome Dr. Rachel Needle to our show. Dr. Rachel, welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
For the people in a longer term relationship that the partner once had kind of very consistent erection and now they're not kind of like have as much of a consistent erection, or the firmness is gone. So it's not necessarily about that awkwardness that you feel in first date. It's more about, okay, my needs are not getting met. How can first of all the female partner react if that is a common challenge that the partner have in a long-term relationship?
So if either one of them is not getting their needs met, or specifically the female as a result of the erectile dysfunction?
The female for the result of erectile dysfunction, because like with many of my clients, it's just like when you are in later stage of life, you have kids, so it's not like every day you have an opportunity to have sex. So people saying that it's my date night, I made all of this preparation and my partner wasn't able to kind of like get an erection, and they get very frustrated if it's a consistent thing. And again, going back to being tactful, I want us to talk about what would be a good and so not good feedback on those moments.
So I think good feedback would be, again, make sure that you communicate not in the moment, but in the moment you can communicate about, I'd really love this right now, or this would feel really good, or, let's try this. So you can tell people what you want. That doesn't have to, again, have an erect penis to do.
Absolutely. And I think it's significantly easier for people in a long-term relationship to communicate that. I think like if I want to tell my partner, like, oh, let me grab my sex toy, it wouldn't necessarily as require as much a kind of effort of communication versus someone that I just met. But I think sometimes we get too comfortable with our partner, like a partner of long term, and we might say things we might not say in the first date. What are some of the things that people kind of statements that they need to be aware of not to use during those situations?
Especially when it comes to difficulty with erection, that as you become more comfortable, you might also become, again, depending on the person, more frustrated. And so, yeah, sometimes things that are unkind and things that, are a result of feeling frustrated, or again, questioning, what is this about? Is this about me? Can build up, and we respond differently than we would maybe in that first time, or maybe we're more understanding, right? Because we're building a relationship or hoping to build a relationship. So I think just making sure that you keep yourself in check in that moment. Don't ignore your feelings. Process them on your own first. You don't always have to do that with your partner, where maybe it could lead to a change in relationship dynamics, but understand what that's really about for you personally, and then have a conversation when you are ready and calm and not naked in the moment, where you can feel validated, hopefully, in having your feelings, because your feelings aren't wrong. If you're struggling with this, it's okay, but you have to have, be able to express it and communicate it in a way that doesn't put your partner on the defensive, that doesn't carry the risk of making this an even more challenging and uncomfortable situation.
Absolutely. I think kind of like paying attention to that narrative that shows up for you, because some of my clients at times they share that like, I already feel insecure about changes in my body. He was able to get an erection. We're in our 20s, like the moment I was kissing him. Now in my 50s, I'm worried about like I gained weight, and that's why he doesn't get an
Yeah.
erection, which at times, again, as we talked about, could be so many things. Maybe the blood flow of his penis changed and
Right.
the hormones changed, and has nothing to do with how your body looks like. I think in the moment, I love that you mentioned the kind of like shifting the focus on experimenting with things from the menu that feels connecting. And at times, again, kind of like maybe your partner is feeling shame and frustrated. And I think it's a way to ask for what you would need in that moment. But I think communicating is important. How much of a direction do you think we should give to our partner in those situations?
Direction.
Like this is what I would like to do.
As much as you need. I mean, listen, everybody likes things, said to them in a different way. So, certainly depending on your relationship and how you like to talk to each other, I'd be mindful of that. Some people like a more stern and direct, do this. And some people like, I love this, or this might feel really good, or I'd like to try this. But certainly don't be afraid to share what it is you want and what you like in a way that can be heard by your partner and doesn't feel like, it's an order or direction, unless that's what they like.
That is true. And I think also kind of developing those menus, especially in your long-term relationship outside the bedroom, can be helpful. Like I'm talking about those things because sometimes people get stuck in the shame spiral of the man feeling, the kind of male partner feeling that, oh my God, I failed, all of those negative narrative. And when the partner kind of like reaching for their sex toys that we haven't talked about it, maybe that feels uncomfortable for the partner or they feel it as a rejection. So I think communication is important. And I think kind of changing the script is important. So you wouldn't end up at the place of avoidance because I bet you see the kind of common pattern in the couples that like they have few bad experiences and then they start avoiding sex and they kind of years goes by and they might not want to have sex.